Boris loses face.
It is clearly now the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader.
Leadership race.
At least 10 candidates have put their hand up to lead post Boris Johnson.
And Rishi ready to replace him. These are the interesting times. Hello all, my name's Matt Johnston and welcome to the Interesting Times, a show that likes to take a sideways swipe at politics right here in the UK. So he's gone, and at the same time, he hasn't. I think we all knew it probably not completely, definitely won't end this way. He's resigned as leader of the Conservative Party, but is staying on as PM for a couple of months until a replacement is found. And he gave a speech in which he made it perfectly clear. It's not you, it's me.
And of course, I'm immensely proud of the achievements of this government, from getting Brexit done to settling our relations with the continent for over half a century, reclaiming the power for this country to make its own laws in Parliament.
No, actually, it is you.
And in the last few days, I've tried to persuade my colleagues that it would be eccentric to change governments when we're delivering so much. Only a handful of points behind in the polls, even in mid-term after quite a few months of pretty relentless sledging. The herd instinct is powerful. When the herd moves, it moves.
And then he went into hiding for a few days. Presumably, when the heatwave struck, the fridge became just too tempting. And then turned up and spoke to Sky's Beth Rigby, who asked him, "You okay, hun?"
Do you feel betrayed?
Look, I don't want to say any more about all that. There's a contest underway, and that must happen. And I wouldn't want to damage anybody's chances by offering my support.
Ooh, he's hurting. Oh, and that don't want to support others tribe? Well, here is Loathsome and Lanky, the worst Westminster double act, yesterday stepping out of number 10 to say who their preferred candidate is.
I'm going to be backing Liz Truss.
Yes, I'm also going to be backing Liz Truss.
Is Liz Truss the Stop Rishi candidate?
That's it. Anyone but Rishi. Oh, and for all those saying Nadine Boris doesn't have a clue what she's talking about, watch this.
Liz Truss is the best candidate. That's what we're working for. She's a proper Eurosceptic. She'll deliver for the voters, and she believes in low taxation.
Thank you. She's a woman.
Great work, Nadine. Proud of you. So who then would replace him? Well, here are the runners and the riders, the chancers and the liars, the bankers and the well, there's a lot of them. 11. 11! You can make a football team out of this, although the right wing would be pretty heavily stacked. Actually, it's more like the early rounds of the X Factor. Tories not got talent. You have the ones that don't have a prayer.
Some people that we've spoken to haven't even heard of you. Why is that?
Ray Machisti, I think it's fair to say you're not exactly a household name.
For me, it's about being frank with the British public.
Being frank. Hang on a minute, you can't have another name, You're not Michael Green. Great enthusiasm, but as we've seen from X Factor, it always goes the same way.
Did you get any backing in the end from any of your colleagues?
I think I had some wonderful conversations with my parliamentary...
And of course, like X Factor, you got the pushy parents.
She is a really smart woman. She's great fun. She's got a great sense of humour. She's very, very hardworking, and she's as smart as tack.
And she's just as pretty as she is clever. And no matter what happens, I'll always be so proud of her because, she's a trier. And of course, like X Factor, you got the inspirational backstories.
Lived the British dream. I came here at the age of 11, couldn't speak a word of English, head at the back of the class, and of course, very quickly learnt to read and speak the language, but actually think in the language, dream in the language. Actually,
that is pretty inspirational. So for the first round, to add to Raymond Chisty, Sajid Javid wilted under the temperature and went from Team Saj to Team Sad. And Sebastian Fox was also unable to secure enough votes. So 8 candidates remained who had to secure 30 or more votes. This was whittled down Wednesday evening, dropping down to 6. We lost Nadeem Zahawi and Jeremy Hunt. But don't worry, plenty of Hunts left in this race. We have Penny for your thoughts, because that's about all they're worth. Morden, Lack Trust, Minister for Inequalities, Tom, And Better Call Suella. And the favourite out in the lead after the first round of votes is Ready for Rishi. Ready for Rishi. Let's have a quick peek at his campaign video.
Let me tell you a story about a young woman almost a lifetime ago who boarded a plane armed with hope for a better life and the love of her family. This young woman came to Britain, where she managed to find a job, but it took her nearly a year to save enough money for her husband and children to follow her. One of those children was my mother.
My parents were immigrants and now I want to leave the Conservative Party? Seriously? That's your angle? But there are other issues here. Beth Rigby put some questions to him at his campaign launch.
And I have to put it to you that you have a police fine over Partygate, and there have been questions too over your very wealthy family avoiding paying millions of pounds in tax due to your wife being a non-dom taxpayer now.
Great. So we're probably going to go for a PM who avoids tax rather than answers. And that's it. No chance to talk about Labour wanting to table a no-confidence vote in the government and was stopped by the government who tabled a no-confidence vote in themselves. Presumably while singing we're shit, and we know we are. No chance to talk about the ridiculous heatwave we're currently facing, which may include the hottest day ever recorded in the UK. It's so warm, people are being stuck to chairs and settees and struggling to leave, including this man who's waiting for autumn. No time to talk about there being another rail strike on the 27th of July, although by that time nobody will have any money for tickets and the tracks will have melted. Thank you all so much for watching. It is genuinely appreciated. And if you are enjoying these vids, then please do subscribe and hit all the notifications bell. And I'll see you all next week. Take care.